We are live. Another episode of The Good, The Crazy, and The Ugly.
Yeah.
I'm Wes, your co-host, and this is Nate.
Neighbor Nate. I'm Neighbor Nate.
What's up, brother?
Not much, man. It's Thursday. We're recording this bright and early in the morning. It's hot. It's just ridiculously hot outside.
Oh, dude, I went outside just to, get some fresh air and immediately went inside. The humidity is insane.
Yeah, they started canceling. My kid had a cross country meet that was canceled yesterday, and there's debate as to whether football games are going to happen tonight. And all I can think is, man, it's a wonder that we fucking survived our childhood. Like, seriously, it's hot, but it's August in the Midwest. It's hot. That happens, But
we literally, Betsy and I were talking about this. So, my brother does some unique things with parenting. I'm not a parent, so I can't judge. But it's 92 up in Wisconsin right now.
Right.
And he doesn't let the girls outside if it's over 90 degrees. And so I'm kind of talking to Betsy. I'm like, I don't know why you wouldn't turn on a sprinkler. But then she's like, for crying out loud, we lived most of our childhood without AC.
Right. Yeah. It was always hot. You were lucky if you had a fan.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just be laying in bed with a weak ass window fan at 94 degrees and humidity. Yeah, we didn't get AC until 85, until we moved to Columbus.
Yeah, I remember when my parents had AC installed, it was that was the hot thing in the neighborhood, and everybody was getting central air right at the same time because that was new. Otherwise, at that point, you had the air conditioning units that would kind of fall out the window.
Yeah. Well, with my first marriage, we bought our first house in Clintonville, like a 1908 house.
Yeah.
In 97, and of course we were broke, so the house was small. We definitely weren't getting a Clintonville house with AC. So for 4 years we lived there, we had one AC unit that was in the master bedroom. And on hot ass days like it has been, we'd literally, us and the two Rottweilers would order a pizza. And we had a little 13-inch black and white TV, and we'd just hang out in this tiny ass master bedroom, watching a 13-inch black and gray TV, eating pizza, keeping the door closed with literally a towel because it's an old door to keep the AC in the room.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And that was the only reprise from that. Well, the good news is this weekend, especially for the holiday, it's supposed to be back to super nice. So that'll be good.
Good.
So yeah, man, what do we got today?
Let's get to it. I'm getting there. And I apologize. There we go. Oh, I did this before too. Well, we'll start with the ugly then.
No, let's start with the ugly.
I like to end with that. So we have what? My guess is it's Tupac.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
it's
know.
Supposed to be something. Eyes are kind of all over the place.
The two teeth or the lack of bottom teeth. In this artist's defense, I will say this. I have seen worse portraits.
Yeah.
So it's not bottom of the barrel, but I'd say it's bottom third.
I feel like portraits are you better do your research, and there are some people that's what they do. They are just really good at portraits, and I can see why that would be all you do, because that's a really specialized thing to be able to do is a good portrait.
So the crazy thing about that stuff, so Scotty, who works at Sacred Hands, really good at them. And I knew this before, but now being next, working side by side with a really good portrait artist, there's no art. It's almost mathematical. It's just mapped out. You focus. Well, you had this similarly done on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
They focus in on just 2 square inches, get that 90% done. You err on the lighter side, and you just build a grid until the portrait's done. Then you go in and maybe highlight or darken some areas that now that you see the whole thing, but it's a very mathematical process. It is not, as weird as it sounds, it's not artistic.
It's interesting because like I remember thinking when I was having my chest done and watching him do it, Marty was doing it, and it almost looked like a dot matrix printer, right? Like how a printer would operate, where it just back and forth, and then all this. And I'm looking halfway through, and I'm like, how in the hell is this going to look like anything? By the time you're done, the printer's complete, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, but yeah, the I've also noticed that, like, I don't know if Scotty does, but if you're doing that, it seems like it would be hard to talk because you have to like really zero in on what you're doing.
No, and that's what blows my mind. Scotty is full on carrying on conversations as he's blasting out amazing portraits. And I'm like, I don't know how your brain can multitask like that.
We're going to have him on at some point, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially next week.
Oh, okay, sweet. That would be cool.
Next up, we've got this eagle, which there's a lot of things that we can address, but one of the things I will say is I think this is a perfect example of design of the tattoo matching the body shape, because this doesn't.
Mm-mm.
This guy obviously takes care of himself, works out, got the pecs, whatever. The way this eagle, it looks like he has droopy grandma tits.
Right.
Like, this thing's so bad, man.
Yeah, or like the eagle's got like some, like, it's almost like it's got like something in its mouth. It's got chops, right? Yeah. Like it just ate a rat or something. And
it has jowls.
Right? Yeah. Well, and like, I don't know, like, well, yeah, why go that far down? Like, I don't, yeah, it just doesn't make sense the way it was done.
No, yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah. We are off to the crazy.
We can go up from here.
We can. The crazy. Dude, I just find it funny. I haven't heard the phrase titty twister in 25 years.
Yeah.
The fact that word still exists to the tune of somebody wanted and then got executed a fucking amazing version of a titty twister.
Okay, I just put that together. That's what that was. At first, I thought they were eyeballs, but now it makes total sense. That's hilarious.
I'm like, this is hysterical. Like, I love humorous tattoos, and the dude killed. Like, it's got like kind of the classic old Tasmanian devil tornado spinning around, like titty twister. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's well done too. Like, I like the blues, but that's hilarious. That's awesome.
This RIP with ouch on the knuckles. I laughed so hard when I first saw this. This thing is amazing. And I'm also like, obviously this dude's not cool with, well, fully cool with a finger being lopped off. But to then kind of turn a tragedy into a complete fucking joke.
So I did not pick this tattoo, and we were talking before the show. I actually know this dude. He's a friend of mine from college, and he's a theater guy, right? So he builds he was doing design tech work and building like sets for theaters, and I think he ran his hand through a bandsaw or something like that. But lots of surgeries, like took a while to recover. And then at one point I saw this, we have our own like private Facebook group for all the fraternity alumni. And I saw this tattoo come out, and I'm like, that is just absolutely hilarious. And a way to, really kind of like commemorate, in a fun way, something that was clearly really shitty. So hats off to you, Tip. That's pretty cool.
And think about this. Like, I'm picking these off the internet. We have billions of tattoos we have access to.
Right.
The fact that what is this? Our third episode of this particular, The Good, the Crazy, the Ugly.
Yeah.
And I happen to grab a tattoo that's on a dude
Yeah. Yeah. That's nuts.
And again, tattoo's done great too.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not, the last time I don't know where he's at right now, but the last time I had heard he was in Los Angeles. So it's not like, oh, here's, just Google feeding us Ohio stuff, right? Like, this is from just the random interwebs. So yeah, but that's a cool one. I definitely dig it.
It's done well. They even got like the cushion separations in the casket, like that.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah. Nice tattoo.
We're on to the good, the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
I chose these two because we're talking polar opposites as far as styles.
Yeah.
And both these. This the color, the monkey. There's so many good things going on. And honestly, as cool as that monkey is, where I'm impressed, I love the background.
Yeah.
The color selection creates depth. And as silly as it sounds, with his, again, that monkey being the focal point, dude, that ominous cloud in the background is fucking dope. They nailed it.
The way he or she, whoever did this, got like the proportions for the depth, like that you could like it looks like the horse is really behind and the clouds behind that, and you can see all these layers, and then even like the hat, like the shading on the hat.
Yep.
It just looks completely cylindrical. That's really, really well done.
Yeah, just nailed it. I mean, even the kind of banner curtain that's coming around to kind of tie everything in together. It starts from the cloud, it winds up wrapping around up front. It even has a drop shadow on it. No detail was missed. Perfectly executed. I love it.
And it's appropriate for where it's at too, like size wise. Like this is an example where this fits where it wanted to be put versus like the chest piece where it's like, what the hell? Like,
correct.
Yeah.
Next up, Pharaoh's horses, classic tattoo. Definitely was much more popular in like the 30s, 40s, and 50s. This thing, though, the realistic version of Pharaoh's horses. Now, mind you, I get it; it's on the thigh, so it's a larger tattoo. But this is not a super large tattoo.
Yeah.
The amount of detail and the smoothness of the gray wash in a tattoo this, what I'm going to call small for the subject matter. This person is a wizard at black and gray. Those grays are so smooth. Those transitions, the detail in the face, the subtlety of the mane. This person's a master of black and gray.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see, especially the mane, like that's amazing. And you can see the veins like coming down the horse's face and whatnot. Like there's a lot of detail there. Question I have though is like, so this is like a really hard edge, right? What if you want to add on and like expand around like this? I think is probably upper thigh, upper quad area. What if you want to expand around? What do you do with those hard edges? Can you just blend those back into something, or
I mean, you can, or there's going to be a little bit of dead space framing this piece, so it always kind of sticks.
Yeah,
alone on it. Yeah, but it's kind of like you're giving and taking. Like I'm gonna, at this point, I'm not thinking about future as much as I'm thinking about executing this one tattoo perfectly, and then we'll just kind of problem solve at a later date. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm betting that thing is 5 inches round, maybe 6. That's not huge to get 3 horses' heads in.
Yeah.
And nail every single one.
Yeah, and so is all the white like on the horse's face, is that just negative space, or did they use any like white to like go over and highlight things?
That's negative space, but they used white for highlighting, where typically kind of that is you're using it where things are moist. So like there's white in the eyes.
Oh yeah, I see the dots.
And there's going to be actual white highlights around the mouth as well, again, where there would be saliva. So this person's very pale, so it's just a slight difference, but that's, again, for these black and gray guys who do these portraits really well, that's one of those little kind of Easter eggs that just, you're like, why is this thing so fucking good? And it's like, because they used white highlights where everything would have had moisture.
Yeah.
Just to give it that next pop up. And and
it doesn't look like it's overdone either. Like this is definitely a killer tattoo.
It's perfect.
Cool.
Well, I think we ran the full gamut today. We had some pretty bad uglies. We definitely had some, I'd say 8 out of 10s for the crazies and the goods, home runs.
Yeah. Yeah. These are cool. Awesome, dude. Well, we'll be back next week. What is next week? I don't have my board up. What are we doing?
Next week, I believe we are going to showcase Scotty Don't, a very versatile tattooer who works with me at Sacred Hand,
Nice.
but is primarily known for his awesome black and gray. But definitely don't want to let anybody sleep on the fact that the dude does killer color work, does killer traditional work. He's a true blue tattooer.
And he has a fantastic taste in music.
Yeah, he does.
He really does. So I dig it.
Cool. Well, this is Wes signing off.
Yep. Neighbor Nate.
Stay in that air conditioning, brother.
Yeah, you too, man. Keep it real.
We'll do.